Good morning, everyone. It is 10 a.m. and we will get started with the August 13th, 2025 License and Variance Board meeting. I am Richard Garland, the chair of the License and Variance Board and the Community Services Administrator for the City of Smyrna. To my left is Bo Jones, the Water and Utilities Director for the city, and to his left is Andrea Worthy. She's the Economic Development Director for the City of Smyrna, and we make up the License and Variance Board that will be hearing your request this morning. Welcome to the meeting. The first item on the agenda is a privileged license agent change request. I'd like to ask if Tang An Lee is present. Don't see them here. If y'all are okay, we'll just move this to the bottom of the agenda and get arrive to discuss that. Do we need to take a motion to do that, or?
Second motion.
We have a motion and a second. All right. There we go. We're official. Next item on the agenda is variance request V25-071, allow new construction on lot of record below minimum requirements on land lot 344 at 2755 Sherwood Road. Catalina Morales is the applicant. Are they present? Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Ms. Crow, could we have the background on this one, please?
Yes, thank you. All right. Caitlin Crow, Land Services Development Coordinator for Community Development. So this variance, as you just read out, is V25-071 to allow for a new construction on a lot of record below minimum requirements. So this subject parcel is a 0.32 acre lot located there on Sherwood Road. So this subject parcel is part of the subdivision known as Concord Estates, which was platted back in 1958, which is prior to our current zoning ordinance of 1974. So this property once did hold a single-family home, which has since been demolished back in June of this year. The applicant is proposing to construct a brand new two-story home, which will be roughly 3,300 square feet once completed. It will have 4 bedrooms with 3 bathrooms and have a vertical hardy plank facade. It will be accessed from a new 2-car driveway off of Sherwood Road. So the subject property is below the minimum requirements of 15,000 square feet for the R15 zoning district. However, this property, again, was platted back in 1958 prior to the zoning ordinance that we use today, and thus the hardship is not self-created. It is unique in that it has less square footage, and Community Development believes this is the minimum variance needed to build anything on this property. At the time of this report, there has been no opposition to this request. So after reviewing the variance application, staff does recommend your approval with the following 3 stipulations. The first, of course, is our standard stipulation. Approval of the requested variance shall be conditioned upon substantial compliance with the site plan and elevations submitted with the variance application. Number 2, a staking survey shall be required prior to the foundation pour to confirm that the foundation does not encroach into the drainage easement. And number 3, any damaged or broken curb caused during construction shall be replaced prior to issuance of the certificate of occupancy. And with that, I can answer any questions.
Any questions from Ms. Crow?
All right, thank you.
Step to the microphone, please, sir. If you would, state your name for the record when you get there.
My name's Mark Vargas.
Do you have anything you'd like to add to the background that Ms. Crow provided on this project?
No, that will be all.
You are not Ms. Morales.
I'm the project manager in charge of the building of the...
Thank you. Any questions for the project manager? Hey, there are 3 stipulations that Ms. Crow read out. You and your client understand that you need to adhere to these stipulations, and you agree to those.
We do.
Thank you.
Good.
This is a public hearing. If there's anyone present who'd like to speak for or against this variance request, you may do so at this time. Hearing none, we'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve variance request V25-071 to allow new construction on lot of record below minimum requirements located at 2755 Sherwood Road, Catalina Morales as applicant.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. Next item on the agenda is variance request V25-072, reduce the eastern side setback from 10 feet to 7.4 feet on land lot 452 at 1040 Manor Drive. Daniel Gray is the applicant. Ms. Crowe, the background, please.
Yes, thank you. Again, Caitlin Crowe, Community Development. So as you just read out, this is variance V25-072 to reduce the eastern side setback from 10 feet to 7.4 feet. So this subject parcel is 0.27 acres, and it's located on Manor Drive, which is in the Smyrna Heights subdivision. So the subject property is currently occupied by a 996 square foot home. It was built back in 1953, so is far less than what our current requirements of 2,000 square feet are for the R15 zoning requirement. So the applicant is planning to completely renovate this home and add an addition on the side where there's an existing driveway to give a little bit more room and bring it closer into compliance with that 2,000 square feet. At the end of these renovations, it'll be roughly 1,900 square feet, so we'll be, again, bringing it closer into compliance. During renovations, the applicant will also be replacing the existing gravel driveway with a concrete driveway, which again brings it closer into compliance with our current standards, since we do require a paved surface for any driving area. As part of this renovation, they will be adding roughly 600 square feet of addition, as well as a deck to the side of the property. The addition could not go on to the rear because there is an exterior access to that basement area that needed to kind of stay open in order to access that. Thus, the rear or the other side was not an option. Additionally, the property does drop off on the other side of the home and would have cost exponentially more in order to build on that side. Again, that is why this side was chosen. And in order to build enough livable space to bring it closer into compliance, they did need to bring it into that side setback. No other variances are needed in order to build this addition. Similar requests have been approved in similar locations nearby on 995 Valley Drive and 3212 Ridgecrest Road. So similar variances have already been set as a precedence in this immediate area. At the time of this report, we have not received any type of opposition to this request, and thus recommend your approval with just the standard stipulation in this case. Approval of the requested variance is conditioned upon substantial compliance with the site plan and elevations submitted with the variance application. And as always, I can answer any questions.
Ms. Crowe.
All right, thank you.
Gray? Record, please, sir.
Daniel Gray.
Have anything you'd like to add to the background that Ms. Crowe provided?
No, sir. Just excited to be a Smyrna homeowner and make some improvements.
Public hearing. If there's anyone here who'd like to speak for or against this variance request, you may do so at this time. Hearing none, we'll entertain a motion.
I motion to approve V25-072, a variance request to reduce the eastern side setback from 10 feet to 7.4 feet in land lot 452 at 1040 Manor Drive. Daniel Gray, the applicant.
Second motion.
Properly seconded, please vote. Mr. Gray, that variance has been approved, but if you would step to this microphone for just one more second, because Ms. Crowe will say something to me at the end of the meeting if I don't do this. There's one stipulation attached to this request. Do you understand that stipulation and agree to adhere to it?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right. Next item on the agenda is a series of variance requests that Ms. Crowe will give us the background on all of them, but we will have to vote on them one at a time. We'll start with V25-073, allows secondary accessory structure on land lot 558 at 3107 Willis Street. I guess if we don't approve this one, we don't have to listen to the rest of them, do we?
Yeah, I guess we can skip them if you wanted. All right.
Let's hear the background.
Yes, so again, Caitlin Crow, Community Development. So yes, as you mentioned, we're going to have quite a few, so apologies if my voice goes out at the end of this. But I'm going to go ahead and read all of the variances that we're going to hear just for your reference. So the first is the one you just said about V25-073 to allow for a second accessory structure. Then we have V25-074 to increase the accessory building size from 25% to 49% of the primary dwelling. V25-075 to increase the accessory structure height from 15 feet to 23.1 feet. V25-076 to reduce the driveway setback from 5 feet to 2.5 feet. And then lastly, V25-077 to increase the maximum impervious surface area from 35% to 40.5%. So this subject parcel is 0.36 acres right on the east side of Will Street. It does seem like there are quite a few variances for this, but the property is pretty unique. There is an existing drainage pipe that has now gotten an easement as well that runs on the northern side of the home and then bisects the rear, which really makes most of that rear property unbuildable since we can't have anything encroach into that easement. Thus, the applicant has shifted this accessory structure to the rear of the property a little bit more than might otherwise have been needed. They've also shifted it kind of in the corner rather than directly behind the existing driveway. That way they can avoid any side setback variances since the existing driveway is already within the side setback. One of those variances that I listed is for that driveway setback reduction. Again, that existing driveway is already in the driveway setback. They're just going to be extending it to bring it to that new garage. As part of that, they are also going to be putting pervious pavers to try and limit as much of the impervious area that they are increasing as possible. So that will be an added cost for it that will, again, try and reduce the extent of these variances. So this accessory structure will be 2 stories. The first floor will be a 2-car garage since there's no current covered parking on the property all. And then the second will have some livable space as well as a bathroom and little kitchenette area for the family's use. So they are going to be adding this additional structure. However, instead of making it more expansive by having both stories on one, they've, again, reduced that impervious coverage to create that second floor. Thus, we are increasing the size as well as the height. But again, we are reducing any of the land disturbance that would happen on the property by doing so. So with this driveway as where it is today and that drainage easement that's in the rear, the most logical area to put it is in that rear corner of the property. Similar variances have been approved in the past in the surrounding area. 3127 Will Street, just down the road of them in 2015. 3393 Pretty Branch back in 2023, and most recently 1453 Collier Drive back in 2024. Thus, there's a precedence for these types of variances in the immediate neighborhood. At the time of this report, we have not received any type of opposition to any of these requests. Thus, after reviewing the application, we do recommend your support for all of these variances, and we have several conditions that are added. We have 6 in this case. So the first, and again, these will apply to all of these variances. So the first is, of course, the standard condition. Approval of the requested variances is conditioned upon substantial compliance with the site plan and elevation submitted with the variance application. Number 2 is regarding the stormwater mitigation that is required on the property for the impervious area increase. And that is a stormwater inspection and maintenance agreement shall be completed and recorded with the Cobb County Superior Court prior to issuance of the building permit. Number 3, a stormwater as-built certification statement shall be submitted to community development for approval prior to issuance of the building permit certificate of occupancy. Number 4, the accessory structure shall not be permitted to have an oven or a stove on either level without obtaining an additional variance for a second kitchen. Number 5, the proposed accessory structure shall not be rented or occupied for gain, except as permitted in Chapter 22 as it pertains to the operation of short-term rental units. And finally, we have number 6. These conditions shall run in perpetuity with the property and as such are applicable to any future homeowner. I also do have Clara Hodges here from the engineering department if you have any questions specifically about the stormwater mitigation that they chose to use. And then I can answer any questions on my end.
Any questions for Ms. Crowe?
I have one, Richard. Caitlin, what is considered a secondary structure?
Yeah, so accessory structures in section 501 says accessory structures or uses. That is why the pool is considered an accessory structure, is because it is a second type of use on the property. With this being another detached structure, that merits the accessory structure.
I know that, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Maybe Sean, I guess. Sean, you're tied into this too, sir? Well, just come, Claire can come up first. I was just saying, you're tied, this is y'all's project too, right? I just got a stormwater question to ask Claire, and then maybe Sean can talk about it too.
Hi, Claire Hodges, Engineering Department.
Sorry, guys. So the impervious, or the pervious pavers that are installed, and then also a wet well? Am I
Yes,
saying
there's
that right?
a dry well. Mhm.
Is there some type of bedding that can be put up under the pavers versus a wet well, and then the maintenance agreement to go along with that? You know,
You're
like the
saying
gravel?
use the pervious pavers instead of the dry well?
Yes.
So to do that, you would need to put quite a bit more of the gravel storage underneath the pervious pavers. That would be kind of how you could do that if you wanted to.
Would that also be a maintenance agreement to be recorded?
Yes, if
Okay,
you're using
okay.
it for
That was sort of my
purpose, it would
question
be.
is, instead of, having to maintain a separate system, if you put it into one system.
Right,
So, yeah, okay, that's all I had. Thank you.
Sure.
Bell, how are you doing, sir? If you would,
You?
state your name for the record.
Ben Bell?
Have anything you'd like to add to the background that Ms. Crow's provided?
No, I think everybody did a great job. I think just so you guys know where the property is, of course, it's on wheels, but behind us will be the future Baptist church project. And so with all those trees being removed, I think a lot of this is more of like a privacy. Outside of this, we need a garage and some more space, but I think with the trees coming down, I think the structure will help shield some of that, because of course behind our property is going to be the proposed parking lot. And so just kind of a little buffer between the parking lot and our house is a huge concern of ours.
Is the garage gonna be as high as the steeple of the church?
I wish, but no.
There are 6 stipulations that Ms. Crow read. You guys understand those stipulations and agree to adhere to them?
Yeah, I don't have any concerns with those. There will never be any Airbnb activity in this property. It's all going to be for personal use. So all of the stipulations are in line with what was brought to us.
Is this where the family goes during the holidays? That
hope
seems to
not.
be
I
a
hope
trend
not.
here lately, from what we've seen.
What's that?
Seems to be a trend here lately, everybody building
Yeah,
a
you know what?
secondary.
Definitely going to be my office, and probably a little getaway for Dad.
Okay, gotcha. Noted, noted.
All right, any other questions? No. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
We'll do these one by one, so if you want to just drop right down there, we'll be asking that question for each one of these. So we'll be close. This is a public hearing. If there's anyone here who'd like to speak for or against variance request V25-073, please do so at this time. Hearing none, we'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve variance request V25-073 to allow secondary structure located at 3107 Wheels Street to Benjamin Bell as applicant.
Second.
We have a motion that's been properly seconded. Please vote.
I didn't have anything come up on my screen, but I vote for the positive.
That triggers the next variance request, V25-074, increase the accessory building size from 25% to 49% of the primary dwelling on land lot 558 at 3107 Wills Street. Benjamin Bell is the applicant. Ms. Crowe, is there any additional background that you'd like to provide for this request?
Not at this time.
Are there any questions for Ms. Crowe related to this request?
No.
Bell, is there anything you'd like to add in relation to this variance request? You understand the same stipulations apply to this variance request also?
No.
All right. This is a public hearing. If there's anyone here who'd like to speak for or against this variance request, please do so at this time. Hearing none, we'll entertain a motion.
I motion to approve V 25-074, a variance request to increase the accessory building size from 25% to 49% of the primary dwelling at 3107 Will Street, Benjamin Bell, the applicant.
Second motion.
Motion that's been properly seconded, please vote.
I vote in the affirmative.
Next item on the agenda is variance request V 25-075, increase the accessory structure height from 15 feet to 23.1 feet on land lot 558 at 3107 Will Street. Benjamin Bell is the applicant. Ms. Crowe, any additional background on this request?
Not at this time.
Any questions for Ms. Crowe related to this request?
Yep.
Bell, anything you'd like to add related to this request on the accessory height? This is a public hearing. If there's anyone here who'd like to speak for or against this request, please do so at this time. Hearing none, we'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve variance request V 25-075, increase the accessory structure height from 15 feet to 23.1 feet, located at 3107 Will Street. Benjamin Bell is applicant.
A second.
Motion that's been properly seconded, please vote.
Oh, it's back.
Also passes unanimously. The next request is variance request V 25-076, reduce the driveway setback from 5 feet to 2.5 feet on land lot 558 at 3107 Will Street. Benjamin Bell is the applicant. Ms. Crowe, any additional information on this request?
No, there's not.
No.
Bell, any additional information on this request?
No.
This is a public hearing. If there's anyone here who'd like to speak for or against this request, please do so at this time. Hearing none, we'll entertain a motion.
A motion to approve V 25-076, a variance request to reduce the driveway setback from 5 feet to 2.5 feet in land lot 558 at 3107 Will Street, Benjamin Bell, the applicant.
Second motion.
Motion that's been properly seconded, please vote. Next, that motion passes unanimously. The next item on the agenda is variance request V 25-077, increase the maximum impervious surface area from 35% to 40.5% on land lot 558 at 3107 Will Street. Benjamin Bell is the applicant. Ms. Crowe, is there any additional background you'd like to provide on this?
Not at this time.
Yes,
Sir.
Bell, anything you'd like to add on this request? Same 6 stipulations apply as they have for the other 4. You agree to adhere to those as well. Any questions for Mr. Bell?
No.
This is a public hearing. If there's anyone here who'd like to speak for or against this request, please do so at this time. Hearing none, we'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve variance request V 25-077, increase the maximum impervious surface area from 35% to 40.5%, located at 3107 Will Street. Benjamin Bell is applicant.
Second.
Properly seconded, please vote. Next item on the agenda is that we will circle back to license 25025. Is Mr. Lee present? Are you Tang? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Awesome. We're ready for you, sir. This is an this is an agent change request, beer and wine, for pouring and Sunday sales at 5350 United Drive Southeast, Suite 102, Smyrna, Georgia, at 30082, Fo 75, doing business as Fo 75 with Tang An Lee
Yes.
as agent. Okay. So can you tell us what training you've received to be a licensed agent?
Okay. The first thing, we try to sell beer and wine, and I get a training on there. At least I have to check ID before I search for the customer. Minimum 21 years old and above. If below there, sorry. And when I see a president people, I don't sell it. And some people can have only 2 green one time. Doesn't matter how long they sit down there, only 2 times. That's all.
Okay. What kind of system does the restaurant have in place to verify age?
Can you repeat that one?
What system do you have to ensure that you're only serving people 21 years or older?
The system,
Method.
Yeah, do y'all have a system that scans the ID, or do
No,
y'all
we-
look at the ID?
we just look at the driver license or ID, then we finger out. Yeah.
So there's no type of scanning system where you scan the ID?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that what you were asking?
Yes.
Okay.
How many employees does FO 75 have that would be serving alcohol?
Right now, I got 3 full-time and 2 part-time. Yeah.
Are they all?
They all been
servers?
for the every time.
Okay. How many hours a week do you spend at the restaurant?
I've been more of the time in there because I'm older.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. All right. Well, you understand the sale of alcohol is something that the city takes seriously. The police department will check to verify that you are
Of course. yeah.
adhering to the ordinances and the laws of the city.
Yes.
As it applies to alcohol consumption. We do have verification that a background check has been completed. Abide by the guidelines set forth by the City of Smyrna ordinance governing the sale of alcohol. Do you guys have any questions you want to ask Mr. Wood? Anything you'd like to add? Good.
Yeah,
You
thank
would
you.
just have a seat for just a second.
A motion to approve license 2025-25, privilege license agent change request for beer and wine pouring and Sunday sales at 5350 United Drive Southeast, suite number 102, for FO 75 LLC, doing business as FO 75 with Tang Ong Lee as the agent.
Second motion.
Have a motion and a second. Please vote. That motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is approval of minutes, MIN 2025-175, approval of the July 23rd License and Variance Board meeting minutes. Do I
So
have a motion?
moved.
Motion and a second. Please vote. Is there any other business to come before the board this morning? Hearing none, we will adjourn.